I request Professor M.V. Nadkarni to speak a few words about the book.
What is that? What was that?
Some
Professor Ramanna, Professor Mruthyunjaya, Professor Sadharkan, Sri Ganesh, and friends. I have a great privilege and an honor of releasing this book in honor of Professor Ramanna. It's indeed a great privilege for me. Professor Ramanna has been a very good friend for a long time, though I lost touch with it for the last 2-3 decades. But I fondly remember the conversations we had when he was working and when I was also in ISEC. Professor Ramanna is an exemplar teacher. He is not only a great economist and a great researcher, but is also a great human being, and that is what made his students love him. And in fact, this book is evidence of the students' love and respect which they have hold in great honor. The book is a very fitting tribute to him. It is quite comprehensive. It deals with not only the problems of farmers' income, but also productivity, marketing, natural resource economics, and a wide variety of topics which have a bearing on the agricultural sector. The get-up of the book is very good, and I congratulate the team, Mruthyunjaya and his team, for taking so much trouble bringing it to this book. It has been a very successful enterprise, and I'm particularly happy that this could be done during the lifetime of Professor Ramanna. That is a very great thing. And I wish Professor Ramanna all happiness and health, good health, and peace of mind in the remaining years of his life, and also with his family. I will not speak much about the book because I couldn't go through the book as such. But I will speak about I will share some thoughts which I have about agricultural economics and the challenges which it is facing. First of all, there is a dearth of great teachers of economics like Professor Ramanna. This is not only a problem of economics but also for Indian universities in general. Of the top 200 universities in the world, no Indian university figures there this year. Among 250 or 300 top universities, of course, Indian Institute of Science and JNU are included. But other public universities, government universities are not included. We have to ponder over why exactly this problem arises. Why is it that in spite of having a great talent of knowledgeable people, why is it that Indian universities are not able to make a mark at the world level, international level? Why people, promising students, go abroad to study? Why not in university? Of course, some students from other countries are also coming to India and studying, but not so many as Indian students going elsewhere. And I think it's a serious topic, serious problem, and we have to think over. the problem is of course funding, but funding may not be the only thing. There is some kind of a reluctance on the part of the government to have proper recruitment, to fill the vacancies, also problem. And as a result, you see, even in private universities, there is a very heavy teaching load, and they are not able to combine teaching and research. In fact, the secret of success of a great teacher like Prof Ramanna is that they could combine teaching and research. Only teaching is no good. Only research is also no good. You have to combine both, because mutually they have a synergetic impact. They are mutually reinforced. And that kind of an environment has to be created in Indian universities. And that is, I don't say it is lacking, but it is yet to develop. Our scholars of India are contributing more and more to international papers, but not as many as the Chinese. You find more Chinese contributions in international papers than in India. Of course, things are slowly improving, but very slowly. That is, of course, one thing. About agricultural economics itself, I would like to say a few words. The one important point I would like to make is that the problem of agriculture will remain in spite of progress in other fields. It's not as if agriculture will automatically fare better if there is overall economic development. In fact, with increasing overall development, increasing incomes, the problems of agriculture also seem to have been increasing. In fact, the fact that European farmers are on the road, they are protesting against government policy, shows that even development is not solving the problem of agriculture. In fact, I wonder whether it is in the nature of things. If you see the course of economic development in most of the countries, including India and even USA or even advanced countries, you find that when the proportion of GDP from agriculture increases, but it doesn't increase corresponding to the proportion of population remaining in agriculture. In fact, the proportion of population in agriculture is generally higher than the agriculture share in GDP, which means that the relative income of agriculturists, farmers, falls behind the relative income of others, people in other sectors, workers in other sectors. This is a chronic problem. This problem is not solved even when economic development increases. The relative incomes of agriculture remain depressed. Now, I don't know if farmers are asking for parity with incomes. They may not, I don't think they are asking for parity of incomes with the non-farmers. But they want at least increase in prices in such a way that the costs are recovered properly. The incomes are fairly great enough, high enough to make them live better and invest better. At least even that is not being satisfied with economic development. That is a tragedy. This is happening in Europe, USA, even in India. They have all problems of this, which means that the agricultural research is taking place in such a way that productivity increases, yields increases, but at the same time costs also increase, unit costs are also increasing. Research by way of reducing the unit cost, this research is not taking place to an adequate extent. In fact, economists almost always believe that when production has to increase, cost will also increase. Or with given cost curves, so with increasing cost curves, this can happen. But the problem is not increasing production along given cost curve, but shifting the cost curves downward. What kind of technology can bring down the unit cost, shift down the cost of production? This is important. Because otherwise, it's all right. The government can give even guarantee for margin support pricing. Support prices can be given, even can be legal guarantee. It will be subject to negotiation, but it might take place sometime. But the problem is that this is going to be a chronic problem unless cost reduces. There is another thing is the aspect of problem. It is not enough if merely the cost decline. If it's not enough if the prices are remunerative. There is the question of viability. See, when there is too much of subdivision and fragmentation with population pressure, the portion of small or non-viable holdings increases, continuously increases. This is partly a problem of the fact that non-agricultural sectors are not absorbing sufficient people from agriculture. Which means that the problems of agricultural sector cannot be solved within agricultural sector. In fact, you have to see that either the farmers move out of agricultural sector so that there is less pressure in agriculture, or the farmers themselves take up non-agricultural population production processes, maybe food processing. In fact, Gandhi thought long back, 1920s, that the problem of agriculture farmers cannot be solved, farmers' poverty cannot be solved unless they combine this with charkha and such things, you see, khadi industries and such things. You have to combine agriculture with non-agricultural activities. Then only it is possible to make this viable. And unfortunately, not enough attention is given by agricultural universities to complementarity between non-agriculture and agriculture. How do we improve things for farmers? The solution doesn't lie only in unit cost, or remunerative prices, but also in giving other occupational support to farmers, or encourage farmers to move out. There is not much progress in this. In fact, the problem of viability in agriculture has been increasing. The average size of holding is continuously declining, and the relative incomes of agriculturists are also relatively completely continuously decreasing. So how do we come out of this process? Unfortunately, there is a lot of confusion in policy about this. Do farmers benefit from liberalization or regulation? In Karnataka itself, earlier there was the Congress government. We had this, since long back we had APMPs. And farmers were supposed to sell their produce only in APMPs. And farmers were penalized for selling it outside the market yards, mandis and so. Now when the BJP government came, there was a liberalization. They said farmers don't have to pay penalties if they whatever price they get, whichever higher price they get, they can sell it there. Wherever they get higher price, they can sell it there. So that was the BJP's policy. Now when the BJP government is out, now the Congress wants to bring it back. Now they passed this resolution in assembly also. And then when it went to council, legislative council, they said we can't solve the problem just as it is. Let us entrust it to a select committee, let them do some research in this. What do the farmers want? They conducted the field work only in 3 or 4 districts. Out of these, 3 I think were in favor of going back to the old regime. But one district, at least Raichur, they wanted liberalization. But this is a limited sample. What do they actually farmers want? From which kind of system will they benefit? Is there enough research done in this? I'm not very sure if there is enough research. Unfortunately, there is a lot of emphasis on production economics. Agricultural universities also are almost completely obsessed with production economics. And with to some extent marketing economics, credit and such things. But this kind of wider vision this is lacking in most of the universities with economics. That's where I think economics has the process. There is another area where the confusion and policy. What is the role of government? What is the role of the government intervention? To what extent is this MSP, by extending this MSC system to all crops, is feasible for government? It's all right for important crops, 23, 24 crops, but extending it to all crops, agriculture, even if you produce palak or tomato, everything has to be guaranteed, everything has to be legalized. And when you make price support legalized, when you are legal, government has to either procure it, you have to purchase from the farmer at the MSP price, or pay the farmer, compensate the farmer for the shortfall in price. What is the kind of outlay which is needed for doing this? What will the government do when procured crops, the perishable crops are procured? Can you not extend storage, processing facilities at the farmer level and improve the incomes of farmers through this processing? So it's not a question of government alone. You have to take the help of industry also. But here again there is a policy confusion, you see. The government is not very sure about the role of the corporate sector. Even farmers leaders are not very sure about what policy they have to take about corporate role is given. But corporate sectors like Dabur, Nestle, and several other many corporate companies have entered into contracts with farmers, forward purchase and so on, and advance insurance assured price to farmers. And farmers are benefiting. They are not complaining. In fact, they seem to benefit from corporate. But there is an ideological kind of opposition to any role of corporate sector. And that's why the 3 agricultural laws which the BJP government had to be scrapped. Though I think it was a very hasty step. The farmers were misled by their blind opposition to this. They could have reformed these laws and adopted to farmers' benefit. There could have taken place a lot of discussion about this, but this discussion didn't take place. You simply go to the free with tractors to the roads and protest. instead of discussing properly, see, with expert, with the government, discussion didn't take place. So I see the prospects are not very promising. People are strident in their opinions. They are extremely rigid. They don't want to discuss things and come to a solution as such. Everything is you go to street and fight. This kind of if this is what going to decide agricultural policy, I'm not sure about the agriculture's future is in India. Anyway, I hope that this book will throw light on some of these issues and will make people think, will make students of economics think about these issues and come to some solutions. Thank you. I thank you again for the opportunity which you gave to me.
When I have spoken, now I will
I'll read it from agriculture, from library. You give it to review.
Oh, no, sir. Okay.
Give it to review. I don't need a copy.
Yes,
I will
sir.
get it from.
So we will release it, sir. Just like you can hold the book. Just to So book is released. This is in the honor of Professor Ramanna, which includes essays from his students as well as his admirers. Dr. Shali Rajneesh also, IAS, and LK Atik also. He is IAS Additional Chief Secretary, the Government of Karnataka, and Finance Secretary.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Please. Sir, good
No, you are equally important to us. Please, no, not at all. Not at all. We feel honored. We feel honored in presenting it to you, sir.
Sir, sir, ತಾವು
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ
ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ
ಅವರಿಂದ
Sir, so please speak a few words. ತಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್. ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಚಂದ್ರಕಾಂತ್
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಬರ್ತಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ
ಸರ್ ತಾವು ನನಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊಡಿ
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಸರ್ ತಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. Oh, okay.
ಸರ್ ತಾವು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
First of all, I am grateful to Professor Nadkarni for being present here this afternoon. It's a great pleasure for me that he is here and he could make it to be here today. I'm grateful to Professor Mruthyunjaya, Chandrakant,
ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್.
others.
ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್. You want to give some word of advice to young students, young researchers?
Advice to students to see the name and fame of the teacher spreads through the students. The students are the ambassadors on behalf of the teacher to spread his name outside. Otherwise, his name is confined to the college and this classroom. Through his students, his name spreads throughout the world. I am grateful to Professor Mruthyunjaya, Chandrakant, and others.
Lalit Achut. Lalit Achut.
Lalit Achut, yes, particularly.
Arun Kumar
Achut, Anantram, and all others. Because I can't name them
Yes.
presently.
You can be happy that you have produced excellent teachers and researchers.
It is because of his students, his name spreads.
Sir, this year you are turning 95. This year you are turning 95.
I am 95 now.
Yes, sir.
95 now.
So you are the longest living Agraj economist professor, sir. And we wish you many more years, 100 years, crossing 100 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you. In fact, I am grateful to my students. It is through their good wishes that I am kept in good health and I am still living.
Your son Ganesh and his family. So, what of his items? Just a brief vote of thanks, sir. A sincere gratitude and namaskars to beloved Professor Ramanna, who permitted us to bring out this volume to pay tributes to him by his ardent students in appreciation of his contributions to teaching, research and extension, agriculture in general and in agriculture economics in particular. The specific teaching traits and contributions of Professor Ramanna has been outlined in the very first chapter of Professor Ramanna volume entitled Agriculture Sector in India, Accelerating Growth and Enhancing Competitiveness. The title very well coined by Professor Mruthyunjaya, our teacher and one of the first students of Professor Ramanna. We are grateful to Professor Mruthyunjaya for accepting to be the editor of Professor Ramanna volume. We thank Professor Bisalaya for writing the foreword. We are grateful to Routledge and of the Taylor and Francis Group, London and New York, for bringing out this publication. Specifically, we thank Dr. Shashanka Shankar Sinha, Srimati Shloka Chauhan, Srimati Antara Ray Chaudhary, Sri Daniel Andrew, and all of their staff for so punctually reviewing and bringing out the publication. After careful review, re-review, we must say that bringing out the publication was a challenging task for all the authors, co-authors and the editor, Professor Mruthyunjaya. The whole process began, with the Taylor and Francis. The earlier began earlier. I was looking at the email at the dates. The whole process with the Taylor and Francis began on September 8th, 2021 and took almost 2 years, as the final printed edition reached us on December 18, 2023. The 2 years of hard work by Professor Mruthyunjaya has yielded us this coveted volume. We are also thankful to Professor Lalit Achut for helping in editing the book and to Professor K. Sarun Kumar for being one of the students who proposed to bring out this volume. We are thankful to all the contributors of this paper, which largely included students of Prof Ramanna, as also his admirers, including Dr. L.K. Atik, IAS Additional Chief Secretary and Principal Secretary Finance to Government of Karnataka, and Dr. Shalini Rajneesh, IAS Development Commissioner, Government of Karnataka. We once again thank all those responsible for bringing out this book. We are thankful to all of you and Sri K.R. Ganesh and his friends, and to B.T. Srinivasa. Please come, Srinivasa. Please, no, you come, please. On behalf of students, all the students of,
Ram sir.
on behalf of all the students, Srinivasa has come and
Again, thank you so much, sir. ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್.
ಶಾಲ್ ಕೊಡಿ.
ಹೊದಿಸಿ
So we thank you, Srinivasa, for helping us in this endeavor.
ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ನೆಸರಿ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಡ್ಯೂ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೊ ಮಚ್. ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಬಿ ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಸರ್, ನನಗೆ ಬಿ ಟಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಹೆಸರು ಟೆರ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಬಿ ಟಿ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಇಟ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, ಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಟೋಕಿಯೋ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಐ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಮೈ ಟೀಮ್.
So thank you very much, and
Yes, we thank all.
we thank all for this great function. So namaste again to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.